So I'm living in this very small Brooklyn apartment where my bedroom has no window. Before I moved in, I went on Reddit on the internet to see, I was like, is this safe to move into an apartment that has no window? At least my bedroom has no window? And all the answers were like, no, that's a fire hazard. Don't move in. So I moved in, and I don't know, it was a really cozy, it was a cozy apartment, a cozy bedroom, it was a cozy fire hazard. So I'd been living in this apartment for about 5 years. I was living with my roommate, Gabriel, and my roommate's girlfriend, Anupama, and I was dating my girlfriend, Becca, for about 2.5 years. And the relationship was going really well, but it was getting to the point in the relationship where her coming over and sleeping on my twin bed that had Oreo crumbs on it, it wasn't gonna work anymore. She wanted me to move in with her, and while part of me wanted to move in, I was reluctant. And so she says to me, when are you gonna grow up? The truth is, I didn't know. I wasn't trying to be like that man-child from every single Adam Sandler movie. The truth is, I was scared. I was scared because I had grown up with parents who were divorced, and I'd never really had a model for what a good relationship looked like. There was one night in January 2020 where I decided I'm gonna make banana bread. And it comes out so good, and I take pictures of it, I send it to friends and family, the pictures, like you do, right? And I'm excited to share a piece with Becca, and so I go to sleep that night very happy. I wake up at 2 a.m. to the sounds of very loud banging and stomping. And I'm not sure what's going on. I'm very noise sensitive. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore it, I'm gonna go back to sleep. But the banging and stomping gets louder and louder, and so I finally get up and I go in the living room and I see Gabriel there, and we look at each other like, what is going on? And then the fire alarm goes off. And we open our door and we see across from us, there's smoke coming out from underneath the apartment door across from us. Gabriel runs to go get the fire extinguisher when suddenly we both see flames coming out from underneath their door. And when flames are coming out from anyone's door, you get out of the building as soon as possible. And so I go back to my room and I think, okay, when a fire's happening, what do you take with you? So I grab my laptop and my phone and I immediately start running downstairs and I call 911, and Gabriel and Anupama are alerting everyone in the building. They're banging on everyone's door, get out. I get outside and I don't have any shoes on, and it's January in New York. So my bare feet are touching the concrete, and our neighbors are outside, there's fire trucks coming. I see one neighbor coming toward me. He's about 6'2", slick back hair, looks like a finance bro. And I'll just say, me and finance bros, we don't usually get along well. My neuroses mixed with their cockiness is not a good combination. But so he's coming toward me and he's holding out these expensive looking brown slippers, and he hands them to me, and I put them on, and it feels like I'm putting a warm shaggy rug over my cold feet. And I'm like, this is what rich person's slippers feel like. Nice. Gabriel and Anupama, then they got a lift to their friends. And I'm calling friends and family and nobody's up. It's almost 3 a.m. Nobody's awake. So I make the decision, I'm just gonna go right to Becca's. So I get in a lift, and I think of 3 things while I'm in the lift. 1, if the fire burned up my room, at least I don't have to clean my room. 2, at least this will be the worst thing that happens to me in 2020. And 3, oh my God, I left the banana bread in the oven. Don't worry, the oven was off. It's not what caused the fire. What actually caused the fire was an overused extension cord, and that was in the apartment across from us. And sadly, the 2 people who were in the apartment, they did not get out. They died. And it's only been in the years since, from talking to my roommates and talking to other people who lived in the building, that I realized how much of a trauma it actually is. Anytime we smell smoke or hear any sounds of banging or stomping, it triggers flashbacks to that night. So I'm in the lift going to Becca's, and I get to the apartment, and she's still sleeping, not answering texts, and I get to the apartment door, and I go to the buzzer, and I ring the buzzer a bunch of times. And I'm gonna ask all of you, if it's 3 a.m. and someone's ringing your door, would you answer it? Yes. One person said yes, but the answer's no, I would assume. So I would not. I wouldn't even answer it at 3 p.m. I'm scared of everything, really. But I hear a voice on the intercom, finally, after all these rings. It's a male voice, and he says, hello? And it's Becca's roommate. It's her roommate, Ryan. And I said, hi, it's Ian. Can you let me up? And then Becca texts me and says, are you okay? And I just said yes. My response was so cryptic because I was so distraught. I was so out of it. And I later learned that Ryan and Becca thought I was being held at gunpoint. Which, if I was being held at gunpoint, I don't think I'd be able to text at all. So they let me up, and I see Becca and Ryan, and Becca gives me a huge hug, and she looks at me with her big brown eyes, and she says, you can stay here for as long as you need. And in that moment, I felt safe, I felt comforted and cared for and loved, and all the fears I had of moving in together just dissipated, because I knew it was gonna be okay. Becca and I have been now living together for 3 years with our cat named Roger. We have baked banana bread, and we also have a window in our bedroom. Thank you.